I like that shirt. I like that First Avenue
Thanks.
boys. That's cool. Y'all, I was looking back on like Twitter, like y'all just won a 7-on-7 tournament or something, right?
That's correct. Over at Sanford.
Sanford, the Chris Hatcher one. That's right.
Yes.
Who all y'all play?
Fairfield, Saks, Talladega, and Coosa Christian, Cornerstone Christian.
Okay. What do you
Yeah.
learn about your guys in that kind of setting where it's 7-on-7 is not pads, it's a lot of skill, that kind of thing. Like what do you take from competing in those over the summer?
This is the key word that you said that didn't compete. How much do you love just to get out there? Anytime you get a chance to do anything when it's sports related, you just want to see how your guys compete. If it's basketball with the play dates, if it's travel ball, you just want to get out there and see if they truly love it. Especially this time of year when it's blazing hot out there. Like, do you just have that drive to keep going no matter what? Because you're gonna be playing games back to back to back.
Yeah. How do y'all get out there pretty early? Like this week in particular, we're recording this in July. Um, it's like it sucks to just step outside. Like do y'all get after it pretty early or what?
Yeah, we go every day at 6 a.m.
6 a.m. I love it. What have you seen from the guys so far?
Definitely the bodies are changing. Attitude. In year two, that's when you start to see the culture shift. They're definitely more excited about this upcoming season. Um, the work ethic has increased, and it found more depth.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Where did you, because last year was year one for you at Woodlawn.
Yes,
Did you come over, were you at Ramsey?
yeah, I was at offense coordinator at Ramsey the previous two seasons.
The previous two.
So that was the '01 season and the 2021 season, the 2022 season.
Twos. I got you. What attracted you to the Woodlawn job?
Uh, a couple of things. One, opportunity to be a first time head coach. Secondly, brand new facilities. We have a beautiful new stadium, new field house, and a new weight room. And so those two things, and then there's the rich tradition that Woodlawn had. They've had guys like Bobby Bowden that went to school here, Tony Nathan, Carlos Dansby, Chris Davis, Casanova McKenzie, uh, Smokey Hodge. Like the list goes on. So it's plenty of talent here. The key thing is keeping all the talent at home because with the inconsistency, with the constant coaching turnover, guys are just constantly left the area when it helped other teams be successful. So now, that's one of the things that I told them, like, I want to be here. I plan on being here a long time so we can keep these guys right here on First Avenue.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you think year one went for you this last year? Like what were some of the positives? What were some of the negatives?
The positives were, for one, we were able to get more players out than when I first got here. When I first got here, we had about 32 kids on the roster. We finished the season with 56. We were able to have our first JV season in 10 years.
Wow.
We played a full JV schedule, so that's going to be big and helping us develop the program as the years to come. We
Yeah.
got another full JV season this year, and just ending the season with the win. That's the most important. It didn't turn out the way we wanted because you always want to win every game, and the goal is to make the playoffs. But like I tell people, it's only 17 that end the year with a win when it comes to the playoffs. So any team that can win that last regular season game and you don't make the playoffs, that hey, you get to start off on the right tip. Hey, our last game we were on the field, we won. So
That's
that's
right.
the attitude we're having and trying to just build on that.
That is it right there. Um, what have you enjoyed? Maybe, you've been there a year now. What have you enjoyed the most, like being in the job? Like it can be a day-to-day thing, a community thing. Like what's been maybe the standout thing for you so far, being in that new role?
So with me, one of the reasons why I coach in the first place is building a relationship with kids. Um, Being here with them every day, watching them grow, watching them develop, um, seeing them go through this life in general. It's gonna be ups and downs, and helping them navigate through that. Getting them to understand adversity. When adversity hits, you got to persevere. You got to push through. And so that's one of the key things, man. Being focusing on trying to be a stable figure in their life. Like I tell them all, I'm here. I'm a father myself, and once I coach you, with your family now to me as well. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that um, I lead in the right way. I model the things that I feel like a good man should do, and hopefully that by you being in my program later on, you become a good father, a good husband, a hard worker, and things of that nature. So just being able to instill good morals and values.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what it's all about at this level, it can become about a lot of other things, but those things that you mentioned are first and foremost. You mentioned
Absolutely.
the new stadium, new facilities, that kind of thing. I passed by that way sometimes, but I haven't like really been in. What has
Mhm.
that been like just from a community support, community pride standpoint? Like, hey, we've got this now, we've got this new facility, we've got this new stadium. Like, have you seen an increase in just community support and people taking pride in the program?
It's definitely a beacon of light for our community, man. I mean, to finally have a home campus stadium for the first time since 1972, that's huge. Um, to be able to go and have something that you can truly call your own, it matters. Instead of having to sit there and bust to practice every day, you might get out there and another team has already reserved the field over at Lawson, or they had a JV game booked, so now you got to rush off the field, or just when it comes to game day, you know, 1 week you're the home team and you're playing at Lawson Field, and now it's not an issue because every school in the city has their own field now. But that's thinking 10 years ago, or in some cases 5 for some schools, when Ramsey was still playing over there. Now you're the road team, but you were just the home team last week, so you can't call it yours.
Yeah.
So now we're able to walk out here every morning, leave practice, walk inside the building. If it's a day we do have practice in the afternoon, after school over, we come outside. It's yours. And on game day, we don't have to worry about treating everything like a road game. You're here, things a little bit more calmer, and you can be locked in more.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I didn't think about it in terms of the travel and stuff like that. I mean, that I can't imagine how big of a deal that is for those guys, just from that technical, like, I mean, even for you, just a scheduling standpoint, and you just get to focus on the game. You get to focus on getting better and the things that you want to focus on with your players, as opposed to bus schedules and practice schedules and all of that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Let's talk about this season coming up. I'm gonna look over here. I'm looking at another screen for you guys' schedule. Let's go non-region first. I've been kind of
Okay.
fat non-region lead off with folks. So you've got looks like you open August 23rd at Shades Valley.
That's
Uh,
Shades Valley.
August 30th hosts Bessemer City.
That's correct.
September 27th at Hartselle. I want to talk about that one for a minute. And then
Yes, sir.
round out the season November 1st at Center Point. So 3 of the 4 non-region games on the road. Like, what went into piecing together that non-region for you, and how did that Hartselle game come about? Because that's an interesting matchup.
All right, so you know, entering year two, last year we're a strong 2026 class. So we started 15 sophomores last year and 3 freshmen. So having those guys back for year two, we expect to make the playoffs this year, and it'll be the first time making the playoffs in 8, 9 years. So none of these guys have ever experienced that. So a lot of times when you go into playoffs, you're gonna end up playing on the road at some point in time. I don't know if it'll be in the first round or if in the second round, but
So,
it's gonna come. So being that they've never experienced that Hartsel game is kind of like a prerequisite of what the playoffs will feel like. We'll get on a charter bus, we'll stop and eat lunch at a restaurant and have a walkthrough at another stadium. So just to getting them that taste, so it won't be a culture shock when the playoffs actually get it.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love the way you're talking about it too. Like when this happens. Like not if this happens, when this happens. I like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Those other games are obviously closer to home, but definitely some really tough tests in their non-region. Like that I can tell that's a hey, we're preparing for November football with this non-region schedule for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so with Shays Valley, again, it's not gonna say it's a rivalry, but it's an old traditional game that they play. It's been a while since they played the game, but a lot of the kids being is on the east side of town that they know each other. They grew up playing in the parks together and everything else. So, um, just a way to have something to get them up a little bit more for every week compared to um, playing a lot of teams non-region where some people choose to play a lower classification or someone you know 107 miles away. Now we need to stay and play locally and actually get some games that really matter to the community.
Yeah, I love that. No, I love this schedule. It's a hard schedule, but I really like this schedule. I mean, y'all got what six of your 10 games are road games, I think.
Yes, it's on the road this year.
Six on the road.
So
Well, let's talk about that region. So y'all are Woodlawn is 6A Region 5. I'm
that's
just
correct.
gonna run through the teams alphabetically. So you're in the Region 5 with Gardendale, Homewood, Jackson Olin, Minor, Mortimer Jordan, Parker, and you guys.
Correct.
That is a pretty tough region top to bottom.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
make of that region?
Like you said, man, and you got some perennial playoff teams in there.
Yeah.
You got Parker right now who's loaded with talent. They were just in the semifinals last year, with a lot coming back. You got Homewood who again a traditional team through the late 90s, early 2000s. I want to say it's like 5 state championships, but again, normally a playoff team. You got Mortimer Jordan that played for a state championship back in like 2014, maybe. Again, Minor, where I went to school at myself, always loaded with talent. School known for great defense, the House of Pain over there. So, again, a good playoff team. Then you look at uh, Jackson Olin again. Coach V had them rolling. So those guys are used to winning. It's been a little rough for them right now just because of coaching changes. But again, the talent is there. And then you have who am I
Gardendale,
leaving out of the region? Gardendale.
Gardendale.
Coach Eads is doing an excellent job again. A team the last 5 years, third round, third round, third round. If I'm not mistaken, even the semifinals appearance in there, but I could be wrong. But again, a team that's used to going deep into the playoffs. So
Right.
I mean, you gotta strap it up and be ready to go every week. So we'll like I said, we're going to be battle tested. So again, we're planning on being in the playoffs and showing people what we can do. So their schedule definitely will get us in the right direction.
That's right. I know that's right. Yeah, and because y'all's, I mean, like, I'm trying to let's see, like y'all play your 4 home games are Bessemer City, that's non-region, Minor on September 6th, and if I'm not mistaken, y'all don't play another home game until October 18th against Gardendale.
Garndale and Parker.
My gosh, there's like almost 6 weeks, like 6 weeks in between where, my goodness, that's a gap. But yeah, y'all will be
Yeah, we got four
battle tested.
straight four straight road games and a bye weekend there somewhere. So I mean,
Ooh.
yeah. So hey,
Hey,
let's all we can do is strap it up and say let's bring it.
I love it. I love it. So, how many? So, you mentioned kind of the youth. Like, I think you said what, 15 sophomores and 3 freshmen started
Yes,
last
that
year.
started last year. Yes, sir.
So, you know, you're young, but you have a lot of experience. Like, just kind of give me some guys like who's been standing out. Who are some guys coming back? Give you guys a little pub here.
So to start off with, we're gonna go with the guys in the 2026 class. We got Michael Tank Jackson. He's our running back. And also does a little part-time work on defense for us. He's actually gonna be a fifth year starter. When COVID hit, when Birmingham City shut down the season, they shut down all middle schools that year. And so he was one of the ones selected to move up and play with the varsity at that point in time. So he's experienced. He's one of our leaders. He's a team captain. And so he's played plenty of snaps of high school football. So last year was his first year playing running back. And he showed us a lot of ability. And so we're expecting a breakout year from this year. The next one in 2026 is Caleb Gaston. He's our DB kick returner. He returned 2 kicks for a touchdown last year. Had 3 picks. He's a member of our 4x4 state championship track team.
Wow.
And he's a runner track. Personal best is PR for this year has been a 10.78. So that's translated to a 4.4940. So he's one of the blazers that we have that again,
Yeah.
he gets an open field. We expect 6 from him. And then going to that 2026 class, we have there's another standout kid, Dietrich Young. Dietrich Young is another one when COVID hit. He was in the 7th grade. And so he got called up. So he's been starting since 7th grade year. And last year was his first year. He goes both ways for us, but we moved in the offense last year. He finished the season with only I want to say it was only 22 receptions, but 9 of those went for touchdowns. And so,
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
yeah, yeah. So he's a special individual. We have Karan, they call him Gator Lewis. He's a receiver. He last year was his first year playing, but he was our leading receiver. He came off the basketball team. He's been starting on the basketball team. He's starting point guard. So he came out and made an impact for us. We have Arterius R2 Hampton. He is a safety and wide receiver for us. We have Keyshawn KJ Johnson. He is our DB. He shuffles between corner and safety. He's also a member of that 4x4 state championship team. Um, and let's see. And then last year's quarterback Cornelius Hudson. He's another standout guy. And I can't believe I forgot about this, but Cornelius will be playing receiver and DB with us. We're still playing a little QB for us. But our QB for this year will be Andre Russell. He is a 2025 first year playing, but he came out in the spring game and I mean he lit it up for us. He went 16 for 18 for 245 and 3 touchdowns. So I mean, yeah, we got a couple of weapons out there. That again, we got guys that can play in space. Can do so much with the balls in their hands. So we're gonna try to find a way to make those playmakers make plays for us.
Yeah. You said this is his first year playing quarterback?
First year playing quarterback. It's funny. Andre was he was here as a 9th grader and was probably about 5'4", 5'3", they said, and was a running back. And all of a sudden he hit a growth spurt. And so now he's 5'11", 6 feet tall, and he can spin it. So he's gonna play quarterback for us this year. So
Wow.
yeah,
Man, and just
he's a special individual.
wow. Who'd y'all play in that spring game?
Pella.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
played Pella.
Man, that's
And
I
so
mean,
it
that's
was a good one. It was a good one. So that was a good test for us and everything else. It got us going in the right direction.
yeah, man, you got a lot of guys kind of playing both ways, it sounds like too, like contributing, receiver, DB kind of thing, or is it just like a few?
Well, again, I believe in depth and playing, just having your good guy, your best players on the field at all times. So we kind of rotate based on situation and skill sets and things of that nature. So if you're a starter on defense, you do have an offense position. Same thing. If you're a starter on offense, you have a position on defense. So depending on the team, the situation at that point in time, or somebody needs a break, we got guys that are just so interchangeable because again, we're loaded at the skill position.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Man, man, I was looking. So, like, how do you kind of bridge that gap? Like, I'm looking. Let's see. Did y'all play 9 games last year?
No, we played 10. No, excuse me,
Oh,
we did play 9 because when I who was that
I'm trying
they
to see.
removed all the schedule. Chilton, not Chilton County, Choctaw County or somebody like that. They
Okay.
went on the schedule anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at, just because I know, it's year one. Y'all still, I mean, y'all won 2 games, but like, I mean, literally, I mean, the history of Woodlawn in recent decades. It's been a struggle by and large. But like, how do you kind of
Mhm.
bridge that gap where like, yeah, like we're moving in the right direction. Like, what's that next step to, you know, being more competitive, being in it, with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, that kind of thing.
Well, learning how to finish. A lot of times last year we would either start fast and then kind of tail off in the second half, or either we'll have a slow start and just dug a hole too deep where you can't get out of. Again, we were in a lot of ball games. But what really hurt us last year mid-season with the injury bug hit us. Again, we didn't have depth last year, so um, against Mount Brook in the second quarter, uh, our quarterback then, Cornelius Hudson, went down, and our next quarterback in line was really our best receiver. It was Karan, and so he wasn't the best passer, so we had to shift the offense more to this, a lot of screens or a quick game and just runs, and it took away one of our deep threats. And so again, we got a lot of guys that can run, and so it took away our big playability just because he just didn't have the arm strength to really be able to get it out there to a lot of people. So when teams realized that now we didn't have the throwing element, they would stack the box on us. And again, it was just a numbers game. We just didn't have the size or the strength at that point in time to be able to handle all that in the box and take advantage of the numbers on the outside.
Yeah.
So this year, like I said, we got depth. We got more depth this year. Because again, we got now this year we're blessed. We got two quarterbacks as well. I got a promising ninth grader as well. That so things are starting to fall in place with the trajectory of where you want your depth chart to be. So I have a senior this year. Um, Cornelius will be ready to take back over the next year. And then Eric, who was our freshman, will be ready to take it over in 2 years after Cornelius graduates. So things are starting to align where you get a chance to slowly bring guys along instead of just throwing them into the fire.
Yeah, exactly. Man, y'all are really, I mean, like you want to compete now, and I mean it sounds like y'all got some dudes to do that too, but like y'all are really kind of building like toward a future too that looks really promising for Woodlawn.
Oh yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. Our middle school team last year um, finished 7-1. 6-1, six
Wow.
and one. They played 7 games. 6-1 last year. The only loss came to Phillips Academy, who ended up winning the middle school league last year. So I mean, and we held them to that lowest point total. We lost that game 12-8. So I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
second game of the season for them. So we're headed in the right direction. Like I said, the future is bright. We're excited about it, man. So
Yeah.
again, the key thing is keeping all our guys here.
That's it. That's it. That's something that y'all are having to worry about these days that maybe you necessarily didn't have to worry about in the past about guys, staying in one zone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
because the
what it
transfer
is.
portal is always open these days.
It sure seems like it. That's been kind of a common theme that I've talked to a lot of coaches about. Like, I'm still old school. I still print my rosters for like when I'm covering a game on a Friday night. And now I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to like, I feel like I have to almost print these rosters like the day of the game because it might change. like
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
I've seen more kids like move in the last year and a half than I've ever seen in my like 15 years of doing this combined. I mean, just kids moving all over the place. And the rule is, the bona fide move rule is what it is for
yeah,
now. And parents, America. If you want to move,
Yeah.
and you make a bona fide move, great. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
and there's me. I might be a little different than most coaches when I do it, but I get it. I understand it because, like I tell people, if I'm a father, and if I feel like for academic purposes that I will move my child because I feel like this will help them achieve their goal more, what's wrong with someone doing the same thing for their athletic purpose? If this is what you're trying to do, again, you would do it for academics. Why won't
Yeah,
why shouldn't they be allowed to do it for athletics?
exactly.
I feel like as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do in your program, by doing things the right way by your kids, they're having a fun, you giving them a fun, loving atmosphere, a family type atmosphere, they will want to stay. If you
Yeah,
if things are going right in your program, kids are not asking to leave. They're leaving because something is not going right.
that's right.
So
That's right.
so again, I get it. Like I said, I might be a little different than everybody else. Everybody's like, no, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Well, you don't like it when they're leaving your program, but if they're coming to your program, I guarantee you're not complaining.
That's it.
So
That's it. Yeah, that's with anything, right? If
yeah,
it's
correct.
if it's going against me, I don't like it. If it's benefiting me, I love it, right?
Thanks. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I think some people, some coaches, and some folks with the move stuff. It's more about like it's not about like there are particular schools that you hear about this stuff more than others, but it's really kind of the you get at the rule like when should you be eligible if you make an in-season move, should you be eligible a week later if you're in Dragonfly, should you have to sit X amount of time. That's more of what I hear as a from people who really follow it and really
Mm-hmm.
like are into the AHSAA rule book and stuff, fans and random parents and stuff like that. They'll just you know they'll cry to high heaven about this program, this program, this program, and they're recruiting and they're doing this and they're doing that. But that's kind of a to me that's kind of a weak argument. That's just it comes across as sour grapes, like let's get
Yeah.
at the rule and what's allowed and then have a conversation, not just throw shade at X school, right?
Well, and see the way I look at it too. Let's just say a kid was at school A for the first 5, 6 weeks of the season, and by week 8, he's at this new school. Really, how much of an impact is that kid gonna be? How much of a playbook has he learned?
Yeah,
Where's the chemistry gonna be? Because that culture in that locker room is gonna shift because somebody now who's been there for 8, 9 weeks starting, who's real good friends with somebody else, has to sit down now.
yeah,
And so you're dealing with 14 to 18-year-old kids. That brotherhood, that friendship will kick in, and now you got conflict inside your locker room. And this
yeah.
guy doesn't want to block for this guy, maybe, or this guy here that doesn't trust this guy, or so I really just don't see how people can look at it as being that much of a problem because the I just haven't seen it being where it's an impact for anybody when somebody comes
Right.
in late in the year and saying they're finna play.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I've got one of these podcasts. Maybe it's by the time this is out, maybe it's out already, maybe not. But I talked to Mark Freeman at Thompson because that was the big talk last year when the kid from Spain Park, Jared Smith, moved over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mark, I mean, to my gosh, to his credit, I wasn't scared to bring it up because I'll at least ask the question. If you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
go there, we don't have to go there. But I'll ask you the
Correct.
question. And we talked about that situation and the rule and all of that for like probably a good half hour. And I was blown away. Like I thought maybe he might not want to go there, that kind of thing. And I think it'll be I think you'll still have people who, they listen to it and they're like, oh, this makes sense now. And then I think you're still going to have the people who will hear that and be like, I don't care. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, like that. But I give him kudos just for talking about it and kind of talking about it in depth. I think there's a lot that people could learn from it, whether you think it's right, whether you think it's wrong, whether you're indifferent. I think it's a good conversation at least.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap
Totally
this.
agree. And like,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Gary.
No, no, no. You go. You go.
No, I was just saying because Coach, much respect for Coach Freeman. He's definitely one of the guys that I talk to frequently, and he does it the right way, And so for him to sit there and you got this high profile kid come in, 4-star and everything else, and the kid set the rest of the playoffs. Kid
Yeah.
didn't play. They still
Yeah.
made it to the championship. Like what? Like, what's the issue?
Right.
So no, I don't get it. Again, people gonna complain about everything. Because again, people
No, that's
just
right.
don't like change. People don't like this new era of football that we're in, even if you look at it on the college level. So you
Yeah.
can't please everybody.
No, you never can. You know that as a coach, you can't please everybody. Yeah, I did have to ask him though about. I was like, because I didn't go to the. I was at the Spain Park Hewitt Trustful game.
Mm-hmm.
That was Jared's last game at Spain Park because I ended up like I covered the game. Spain Park won pretty easily, and covered the game. The game. Spain Park was kind of already out of the playoffs. Hewitt was already kind of locked in where they were going to be, and I didn't really think much more of it after I turned in my story and did all that. And then that weekend, I start getting questions. People are like, "Hey, did Jared play Friday night?" And I was like, "Well, let's see, the 4-star defensive end. Yeah, yeah, he played." And they were like, "Well, he's moving, and all this." And then it all started to come out. So the thing I did have to ask Mark about, I was like, "Look, I wasn't at any of y'all's subsequent games. Like I think maybe they had Hoover left on the schedule, regular season. I don't remember if that
Mhm.
was it or if there was someone else. I don't remember. But I was like, I did have to ask him. I did ask him the question. I was like, I know he dressed out and was a captain for at least like one or two of those games. I was like, I know that a lot of people didn't like that from afar, seeing that, and they thought, well, is he going to play or isn't he? It was kind of a guessing game, and it was like, well, why was he a captain? And Mark, to his credit, again, he addressed it, he talked about it, and how hard he worked, and playing
Mhm.
scout team, giving them different looks going into the playoffs and that kind of thing. So it's a really interesting. I think it's a really interesting conversation. At least I just hope people go into it with an open mind and just listen to it for what it is.
Definitely, I definitely look forward to listening to it because again, Coach does a good job, man. He's a good man,
Yeah,
God fearing man, and everything else, and he's done a good job of building programs and helping kids get to the next level. So, you know, if any kind of insight he can give you on anything, I think it's worth a listen to.
absolutely. Well, let's wrap this thing with one more Woodlawn question. I've been asking. I've
Okay.
been asking pretty much every coach this, but just for you personally, this upcoming fall, just this season, what are you looking forward to maybe the most?
Just watching the growth from year one to year two, the level of execution on the field, the decrease of penalties or injuries or um coming out focused every week and having that fast start, but then I also being able to finish strong, fast start, finish strong. That's something that we're preaching every day. Because again, those are the little things that hurt us in year one. So a lot of that should be cleared up in year two, being that now we've had a full spring, a full off season, and just seeing those guys just mature in general. Again, you going from 14 to 15 year olds to now 15 to 16 year olds. And again, getting them that taste of the playoffs this year. And like I told them, once we get there, anything gonna happen. So again, the goal is we're going to make the playoffs this year. That's what we've been preaching all year long. I believe in speaking things into existence. So like you said, it hadn't been if, it's when, and are we gonna be on the road or are we gonna be at home? And so once we get that taste this year, then the next year, like I told them now, year three, that's when you see the real changes in the program. Guys have been here longer. You know the system like the back of your hand. Let's go out here and see if we can shock everybody now and do something special. So I'm excited about year two just to come out here and go out and be role warriors this year. Go out here and let's take it to people. I'm pretty sure that because we're playing on the road, we're gonna be a couple of people's homecoming. So let's go be the spoiler. Let's go and shake some things up, wake some people up, and let them know that hey, Woodlawn is gonna be a force to reckon with in the future. And right now, like the future is now. Like I tell people every day, like okay, tomorrow is the future. Like we don't know what's promised. So even though we're speaking on the present, it's the future as well. So let's just go out here and have fun and let God do the rest for us.
I love it. I love it. Fired up, man. Fired up. We're only a month away. Let's go. That's awesome. I appreciate it, Coach. This has been cool to learn about Woodlawn. It's a team I don't get to really cover. In season.
Mhm.
I'm at a lot of different, very set kind of parameters for who we cover and stuff. But we'll see y'all with Homewood this year for sure. And then hey, playoff time, like you said, all bets are off. We get some teams eliminated. Come see y'all, home or away. Come see
Well,
y'all.
well, hey, definitely, man. Gary, you always welcome over here at the Castle on First Ave, man. We'd love to have you, and we'll send you the stats every week out there, every game, and add us to the Trust View Tribune. We got some former alums that stay out further on the east. Like I said, Chris Davis is one of our guys. His son is doing big things. We expecting big things for him this upcoming season. He had a wonderful spring. So
Yeah,
those you got your audience out there for a couple of former colonels and everything else. So
yeah,
and we're excited, man. So please keep us on your radar, man. And again, we'll keep you updated with all the stats.
love it. You're on the radar. Love it. I appreciate you, Coach. Thank you for doing this.
Man, I appreciate you, man, and keep doing this because things like this are needed for not only just the coaches, man, but for the players. We need this because exposure is key. And everything is done now through these online platforms and so anything we can do to try to help grow the game, to put spotlights on these scholar athletes, man, I'm always here for it. So thank you again for having me on. I'm excited and you know, come by the castle anytime. You're more than welcome.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have to get by the castle soon. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, man. Have a blessed day.
You too.